Hi there, welcome back. We are still in Module 3, and this is lecture number 2 of Module 3. And in this lecture, we are going to shift our focus from the initial excitement of AI demos to the rigorous process of making defensible decisions. So, this module and this lecture is all about moving behind the hype and applying a structured approach to evaluate the AI vendor claims. I'm going to equip you with the tools to challenge the vendor assertions and build an evaluation scorecard that really stands up to the scrutiny. So, the goal here is to ensure every AI investment is a strategic asset and not a costly experiment. So, to master the AI conversation, we introduce this framework, which is framework number 5, the 7 defensible questions. So these aren't just questions, they are a strategic framework designed to cut through the marketing speak and get to the core of an AI solution's viability. By asking these 7 questions consistently, you will elevate the quality of every discussion and ensure you are addressing the critical aspects of AI adoption. This framework builds on our previous discussions about rigorous evaluation, providing a concrete set of inquiries to guide your decision making. And let's dive deeper into these two critical areas, monitoring and failure, which correspond to question number 5 and question number 6 of our framework. So, a weak response to monitoring might be a simple dashboard, but a strong response involves automated drift detection and contractual commitments for retraining. Similarly, a vendor who dismisses failure as rare hasn't truly considered the implications. So, we need to know the specific escalation paths and notification protocols when a model is wrong. Understanding these aspects is crucial for planning the unthinkable and ensuring operational resilience. So, moving to framework number 6, which is the reference check protocol, we are talking about uncovering the real story behind the vendor claims. It's not enough to just ask about the successes. We need to probe for the challenges and the lessons learned here. So, asking questions like, if you were starting over, what would you do differently? Or, where what were the biggest performance gaps provides invaluable insights. So a pro tip here is to seek out references from churned clients. They often reveal the true failure modes that vendors won't highlight. This level of due diligence complements our defensible questions by providing real world context. Now, finally, this is framework number 7, which is the procurement red flags checklist. Is your shield against the common pitfalls in AI contracts. Be wary about the vendor defined SLAs that focus on uptime rather than clinical performance, or the absence of performance guarantees. Ambiguous data ownership and silent updates are also major concerns. Hidden integration costs like EHR, vendor fees can quickly inflate your budget. And watch out for auto conversion pilots that lock you into the long term contracts without proper evaluation. Identifying these red flags early in the process will protect your organization and lead to better outcomes. Okay, in this, we apply our framework to a real world use case that we have been talking of as part of this course, and AI for scheduling, which was our case track A. The verdict is not ready, and that's a leadership win. We identified a compatibility gap. The vendor's validation came from academic centers, but our community setting is different. There was also a data gap. The model needed 24 months of history, and we only had 14. These gaps mean we can't move forward yet. So, a defensible no protects our resources and ensures we invest wisely. We'll now look at the case track number B to see how this framework applies. So, this is our second case, an AI for screening, and we see a proceed with caution verdict. So, this is a critical distinction from a full no. the validation level was only level 2, but high clinical stakes demand level 3 or higher before a pilot. We also found a data gap with only 70% coverage of for social determinants of health data. Crucially, there was a governance issue, a gate 3 failure, because primary care hadn't agreed on outreach actions. So, we are approving, in this case, a discovery phase only, requesting equity performance data and holding off on a pilot until primary care governance is secured. So, this careful approach in this context ensures we are mitigating risks in high stakes clinical areas. Now, let's see how we formalize these evaluations with a scorecard. So, this scorecard is your defensible decision tool, making vendor evaluation objective and documentable. So, we are assigning the weights to each of the key dimensions, as you can see here in the slide, like evidence and validation quality, population comparability, and data integration feasibility. So each dimension here gets a score from 1 to 5, reflecting on how well the vendor meets our criteria. For example, a high score for validation means the methodology is robust and relevant to our setting. A score below 2.5 means we don't proceed, or while 2.5 to 3.5 on a scale of 5 means we need more information. So this kind of structured approach moves us beyond just gut feelings to data driven decisions. This scorecard is a key component of the comprehensive evaluation worksheet we are going to preview next. And this is how the scorecard looks like, and this is also, we will add a downloadable template as part of the course contents as well. So this capstone artifact is your AI initiative evaluation worksheet, the one that you are seeing here in the slide, a practical tool you can use immediately. So it breaks down vendor evaluation into manageable sections, from a demo skepticism checklist to a detailed vendor evaluation scorecard. So we have included sections for assessing the validation levels, training data bias, and even procurement red flags. So this worksheet will guide you through a complete defensible evaluation process of the AI initiative at your organization. Ultimately, it helps you make an overall recommendation. Proceed to pilot, or request more information, or do not proceed. So, this comprehensive tool bridges the gap between theory and practice, leading us to our module summary. Okay, so this is in module number 3. We have built crucial technical literacy, understanding concepts like sensitivity, specificity, and the validation hierarchy. I've also armed you with the 7 defensible questions and the vendor evaluation scorecard. You now have the tools to decide if AI is the right approach and to select a worthy vendor. But remember, selecting a vendor is only half the battle. The next module, module number 4, will bridge us from this selection process to the reality of implementation. Because, frankly speaking, based on my experience over the last 15 years, implementation is where most AI value is lost. All right, we will continue the conversation in the next lecture.